What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Her Light Shines podcast, where we ignite womanhood to shine in their glorious light. I'm your host and founder of Her Light Shines, Stardacia. And I just want to say thank you to everyone who reached out to me and said they really appreciated last week's episode. But I don't want to, hold you up for this week's episode because this week is something that is really, really, really heavy in womanhood right now. And I can't wait to get into this juicy topic. But I just want to first introduce to you all someone that is like a soul sister to me. Like, to be honest with you, I'm really not playing. Like, we're spiritual sisters, all in all. And y'all will see as this podcast goes on. But this is Brittany Shanaé. She's multi-hyphenated. She does a lot of things, okay? But I just want to go ahead and jump right into today's topic. And it's how to live a soft life and create a life that you love. Brittany, this won't be your first time seeing me with her. So, I'm gonna shout you out under this comment, under this post, so they can follow you on Instagram and all your social networks. But from this podcast episode, I know that they will know who you are truly inside and out and what you stand for. So, how to live a soft life and create a life that you love to live. Like, we were purposed to live a life that we enjoy. We weren't purposed to sit here, suffer, and just take what society throws at us, right? And as women, we deserve to live our best life. So let's just get right into it. Brittany, like, define what is a soft life to you.
Right. First of all, I just want to say I'm happy to be here today because I really do love this topic, and I'm so happy that we are talking about it because, we talk about this often, how to create, a life that we love. And I know for me personally, a soft life to me means basically a life that is slow, easy, just peaceful and feminine. And it's about having a sense of calmness throughout the day and waking up being the woman that God created you to be, not the woman that society wants you to be. And it's about unlearning things of the world and just doing things that learning what makes your body, your mind, and spirit feel settled. So that's what it means to me.
Yes, and she defined that perfectly. And for me, living a soft life, from my journey and what I'm experiencing, what I'm getting through, it's a life without drama. It's a life without a lot of heaviness and burnout, and it's a life where I can just wake up and not worry about all of the tasks I have to do for today and literally just enjoy my own existence. And I know that may sound like so dramatic, you guys, but it's so true. Like, I really just want to, enjoy my own existence sometimes. Like, it's so necessary. But let's get into our first segment, okay? Do we need a luxury life to live a soft life? And the reason why I ask this question is because, it's very trendy for us to say, oh, I'm that girl, I'm the it girl, black girl luxury, all of these different things, right? And it makes women feel like they have to go out and buy these expensive handbags and book these trips, just to live the glamour life, that it girl life. So do you really need to have a luxurious life or a life of luxury to live a soft life?
Right. So I feel like when it comes to a luxury life, you have to redefine what luxury means to you. Because like you said, it's different for every woman. Some women, their definition of a life of luxury may be getting a new Birkin every month and shopping sprees on rodeo, yachts. But for some women, it may be simplified and they may feel like luxury to them is going to Target and Starbucks every day if they wanted to. You know what I'm saying? Like eating out when they want to, like just being able to do the things that really makes them happy. And to me, that's what a luxury life means. Just literally being able to do the things that makes me happy and makes my spirit feel good.
Yes, yes. Because, if I feel like if we're constantly chasing a life of luxury, you know, and I'm not going to step too much into this topic. This will be on another episode. But a lot of girls, they do the most to keep up with these trends. They feel like they have to attract a certain man, you know, so they can get flued out, you know, and all this. Like, how is that being soft when you constantly feel pressured to keep up with all of luxury's trends? And honestly, I love what you said with you have to define your own definition of luxury. Luxury to me is self-care. It's getting my hair done, nails done, listening to my favorite music, like just living in my own world without any distraction is luxury. And it's also shopping and going in the store, being able to buy anything I want, but it's because I want it, you know, and I think it's cute, not because I'm trying to keep up with the hottest and latest trend, you know. And that may be someone's style because they're into the industry or what have you. I'm not knocking you for that, but you really do have to define your version of luxury, because just because you don't live a luxury life or a six-figure life, you still can be soft. Like, for an example, our great-grandparents, our grandparents, you know, how they live. They live the soft life simply by staying home and, you know, doing their laundry and picking out what color walls, you know, what color they want their walls, or looking at catalogs to order what they want to wear for church next Sunday. So
it just basically, it's what makes you happy. Like, literally the things that makes you happy, like doing those things. Like, it could be baking, you know, just therapeutic things that are good for your soul and makes you feel happy and at peace and calm.
Cleaning is another thing.
Yes.
So getting into the next topic, because this topic, raising your standards. Honestly, it may sound like, you know what, how you gonna be a soft girl, how you're gonna be in control of your own life and be that girl if you don't raise your standards. But listen, you guys, sometimes raising your standards comes with a lot of complications, and we're going to dive into why. So with raising your standards, why do you feel like that's important, you know, for you to set standards over your life overall to have a successful soft life?
I feel like having standards is basically, it gives you a guideline for your life, and it helps you, you know, define the type of relationships you want, friendships you want, career paths. It just sets the tone for your life. Like, having those standards, it really helps shape your life, because I feel like without standards, you'll just accept anything. And, you know, like, life is what you make of it, not what it makes of you. So I feel like when you have standards, you're taking control over your life and the things that you want out of life, because this life is yours, no one else's. It's your responsibility to create the life that you love. And by having standards, you're able to do that.
Yes, you know, if you don't have any standards for your life, it's like you don't know what you're willing to accept and what you're not willing to accept. And, you know, to create a life that you enjoy living, that you can wake up to and just having a bliss time all the time, you have to know what it is that you want, you know. And sometimes that requires a lot of like self-evaluation and different lessons, you know, and we're going to get into that. So when it comes to raising your standards, something that's key to me is setting and establishing boundaries, parameters, and just, you know, for friends, family, you know, your work life. So you won't burn yourself out. So how have you been able to set up boundaries without pushing people away?
You have to know when. I feel like when it comes to setting boundaries, it's just best that you let people know up front, like, how you are. And, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have to learn how to say no, because sometimes you have to be a little selfish. You don't want to become you want to be a selfless person, but sometimes you have to be selfish to protect yourself, to protect your energy. Because if you want to live a soft life, you cannot people please, because you will be drained. Like, it will drain you, and you cannot live a soft life if you're drained and, you know, like beat down all the time, because you have to set the tone of calmness and you want to be able to exude that. You know, you want your aura to be, you know, peaceful and calm. But if you're constantly people pleasing and worrying about everybody else, it's gonna create a toxic environment, you know.
Yes, so yes. And you're not going to be able to like project that divine feminine energy if you're constantly just, you know, in your emotions. And sometimes it comes from overextending yourself, you know, just because of you being a caring person. And I honestly experienced this so much in the past. And I know that I knew I had to make some executive decisions, you know, to protect my mental health, because honestly, your mental health is so important. You know, you have to do what you need and what you must to protect your mental health, and you know your mental capacity. So, you know, sometimes when you're that friend or that community member who always pour into others and nobody reciprocates the energy back into you, you know, for me personally, it's been relationships. You know, a lot of times I will pour my all into a person to help them out, to get them out of their rut, you know, and it's like, what am I doing for myself? You know, nothing. It's like, wow, like if you really cared about me, why would you allow me to leave drained? But then I had to revert and like, wait a second, you have to care about yourself first.
You gotta care about yourself.
You really have to, because, you know, people will run over you if you allow them, you know, especially if you have that healing energy, that divine energy, that comforting energy, you know, so you have to know how to turn it off sometimes.
Yes. Because like you say, you'll end up being, it's like you're pouring into, you know, everybody else. You're pouring into, you know, a specific, especially in relationships, when you're pouring into somebody and you're just pouring into them, watering their grass, but then no one's doing this. It's not being reciprocated. So now here you are, just dried out, you know, you don't have any energy to do anything. And you're just left looking, you know, crazy while they're all filled up, they're growing, they're thriving. And then, like, you know, you aren't, you know, so you definitely
some of my watchers, listeners, like, but it's like, I see so many women go through this. We allow a man to just tear us into pieces, and we are natural lovers. We are natural lovers. We go hard. Like if you're a good woman, you go hard. Like you don't care what's going on. Like you're going to drop everything you're doing just to support that person.
Be there for that person. Yes.
Because you are a caring person and you believe in that person. But one thing that I've learned, you know, from my previous lessons, it is not feminine to constantly put yourself in environments and situations where you know you're not being fed. That's not exuding divine feminine energy. Us as women, being soft women, we deserve to be desired. We deserve to be pursued. We deserve to be, you know, I wouldn't say worship, because a lot of people take that too far, but we deserve to be appreciated for
appreciated and valued and cherished, you know.
Yes. And honestly, being a soft woman without, like, you should, like, a part of living a soft life, you know how someone said, they were like, femininity is really powerful. To be feminine is powerful, because when you're feminine and when you're walking into divine femininity, you attract who you are. So you attract a person who values and cherishes you. But when you're not truly loving you and looking out for your best interest and constantly putting yourself on hold for someone else, it's like you're going to keep attracting the same things, you know. So
and even that with toxic masculinity, you don't want to attract that. You have to be very careful with attracting toxic masculinity, because that you will not be able to flourish in your feminine walk with masculine energy. I mean, toxic masculine energy.
Yes, man. It's out there. Like it's really out there. And you know, I know a lot of guys complain about, you know, where women are in life, you know, with us being so hipped on being Lori Harvey and finessing, getting a person to invest in our businesses and, you know, modern day polished tricking, really, if I'm being completely honest with you. And it's not something that I condone, but it's like, I want the men to take a step and realize, what part did you play to turn women into this type? You know what it was? You start giving women all of the male responsibilities. You
My
start putting
goodness. Yes.
your task and duty onto us, so we don't have no respect for, you know, or nor knowledge of the different roles in the situation. So it's like, you hear men all the time complain about, man, these so and so's and these what, but it's like, y'all have to realize you have a huge
That's true.
part of why a
That is
lot
so
of
true.
females are so cold and negative and masculine. Like, a lot of
Right.
females had to put up their boundaries and their barriers because they were constantly drained. You know, how we were just talking about, they were constantly drained, you know, and that can be
Women are not right.
yeah, I was saying that could be a whole nother topic within itself, because, you know, we want to be that girl. We want to be seen. You know, we want to look luxurious and bona fide, but it's like, what is that serving us? You know, are we doing this to flaunt ourselves to men, you know, to make them think, okay, if I can get this, if I can look this good, you have to rise up to my level. That's why the city girls, you're like, listen, I'm not talking to a man if he don't have a bag. And it's like, why do you think they have that mindset, to be honest? Because they tired of caring and giving their all to men to be left with nothing. So it's just like, they're like, listen, I'm gonna go ahead and just flip the script, and if I'm gonna give you any piece of my time and intention, I'm gonna leave out with a bag. And honestly, I don't condone that, but it's a reason, it's a cause and effect for everything. So we have to get to the root of the issue.
And it honestly just goes back to you setting your standards, because you got to know what type of person you want to be with. And you can't expect, like, look at the red flags. Like, look at the red flags, because a lot of times if you're a soft and feminine woman, you can't be with a man who expects you to be like him and keep up with him and do, you know what I'm saying? Because we were created to be feminine, and then there's a masculine energy. And a lot of times, if men do want, you know, that masculine energy, they should date a dude, because honestly, we were not created to match you. Like, I don't want to go as hard as you. Like, let me be soft, let me be feminine, you know, so that I can nurture you. Because if I'm burned out and you are burned out, who's going to be the nurturer in the situation? Like, so.
And you know what? I was talking to my homegirl, and she was like, you know, I understand why Webby made independent, you know, and I'm independent myself or whatever. She was like, but I don't want to be independent. Like, I want a real man. I'm tired of dating boys. I want to be taken care of. And ladies, it is perfectly fine to still want to be taken care of. You know, they push this independent mindset on us. And mind you, it is absolutely necessary, you know what I'm saying, to have independency in society, because you really can't depend on anyone. But it's not supposed to be like that.
Right.
But we have to talk about things like this so we can get to the root of the problem, help each other heal, because it's not just women, it's men too that really need to heal, you know, so they can know their jobs and responsibilities as a man, you know, to be able to nurture and accept a soft woman, you know, because a lot of soft women in society, they're so busy living their best lives. If a man is not looking specifically for that type of woman, he won't find her.
No.
It's a scripture in the Bible. It says, a virtuous woman is as precious as rubies. And oh my goodness, I have to find this, but it was a scientist. He said out of every 12 diamonds on the face of this earth, there's one ruby.
Wow.
So a ruby, to me, in my definition, she's rare, she's virtuous, and she exudes that feminine energy, you know?
Yes.
And so if you really want to be that woman, or males who's listening, if you want to find those women, you have to like self-evaluate, like, listen, is it something that I'm doing Is it something that I'm missing, or a certain person I'm constantly attracted to because of society, that I'm overlooking the ruby that's right in front of my face?
Right.
And that happens a lot of times. But yeah, setting boundaries for relationships, friendships, friendships. Okay, I have a question. With friendships, can you go to the club and live a soft life? Like, what's your take on that?
So I can't see, for me, I can't really speak on it because, I'm not really the club type. So I don't want to be like, oh no, you can't do that, because I know some people that do, it's a balance. But I feel like it depends on which type of club it is. There are some clubs that are more like the bar vibes and chill vibes, where you can be classy. But if you're in the little ratchet clubs, it's hard to live a soft life, because how can you do that? You are around
With
so much.
the temples and
Right. Yeah. It's
Honestly, you
just,
guys, I'm glad I said that. Music, honestly, it plays a huge role. Like, I know a lot of women who listen to trap music, and nothing is wrong with that. But I was personally attacked a lot for not listening to trap music. They said I listened to Barbie, bubblegum music, like
yeah, me too.
Music. And I was like, that was my flow. Okay. Like, I can't have, if I could just create my own world and live in bliss and live without expectation of anyone else, trap music wouldn't be in my world. So, just pay attention to the music you're listening to, because a lot of females, whether we realize it or not, trap music has a huge effect on the masculine energy we portray.
Yes, because it's going to it's downloading your spirit. Like, what we listen to, what we watch, all of those things affect who we are, spiritually. And our spirit is a big part of living a soft life. Having that calm spirit is so important. So important, because once your spirit is softened, you will want softer things. You will want softer experiences. So all of those things matter, like music and things that we watch, even social media.
I have to quote that. That is so true. Like, when you have a softer spirit, you crave softer things, softer music, softer experiences. So that rolls right into our next segment: living in a fast-paced society. You guys, this is so important to talk about, because I'm so tired of us rushing life. Like, what are we rushing for? Where are we going?
What are we rushing for? Right.
So how are you able to live a soft life and actually enjoy every moment in today's overly fast-paced society?
Yeah, so I feel like it is important. It's definitely important for us to have goals, but we cannot overwhelm ourselves trying to achieve those goals, because you're going to miss out on the moments that matter. Like, that's spending time with family, spending time with friends, having fun. Like, because if you're so focused on, oh, I got to achieve this goal, I got to accomplish this goal, when like, you can't enjoy the things that matter, because guess what? Those goals that you haven't reached yet, if something was to happen to you today or tomorrow, they're still going to be there. But you don't get, like, you don't get to, you have to allow your family and friends and all of your loved ones to spend that time with you. Like, make yourself available to those who love you. Give them some of your time. Love on them, because I promise you, those goals are not as important as those things, like family and friends. So you have to really, like, it's always going to be there. It's still unachieved if something was to happen to you. So take some time out and really think about that. If you are listening to this and you constantly feel like, oh, I'm on a deadline, or I got to do this by this, like, why? Who says that? Like, God, like, who is giving you this timeline? Yourself, because it definitely isn't God.
Yes. And you know what? I was in the store the other day, and I'm so glad I came to this type of revelation. But you know why a lot of times I left jobs, quote unquote, before time, or I stepped out on what have you? I refused to allow society to be the core reason of my existence.
Right.
I was placed here for a bigger purpose. God made me to glorify him and to expand his kingdom. I was not here to get lost and trapped in a society, constantly living to pay bills, living to please people. So, you know, that's the reason why a lot of times I left jobs, because I refuse to believe that I was placed here just to succumb to society. Like, that's not why I'm here. You know, and a lot of people are so lost, burnt out, frustrated, depressed, anxious, because you truly can't connect with your inner spirit and your true purpose, constantly trying to survive in this make-believe matrix. You know, so for those of you who are watching and listening, literally go in your prayer closet or anywhere and just ask God, like, Lord, don't allow me to get so caught up in society that I miss my calling. You know, because
that's so
we
true.
don't know how much time we have here. You know what I'm saying? So that's super important. And another thing I thought of, you know, as far as becoming a more soft person and really taking my time, because listen, I was so impatient in the past, super impatient with everything. And it's impossible to live a soft life being impatient. You have to master patience.
Patience. And that's why patience is definitely a virtue.
It's a virtue. You have to master it, because we can't control time. We can control a lot of things around us, but time, we cannot control time. That is something that God made, and regardless of how smart we are and how much we try to rush against it, we cannot control God's timing. So we really have to just take a step back and allow ourselves to enjoy every moment, in each moment. You know, there would be times where I'm about to go to the store to grab something, or the mall, or a certain event, and I'm in a rush. Like, I'm constantly rushing. And I'm just like, Star, what you rushing for? Like, you're going to get there when you get there. Sit down and make sure your hair looks right. Make sure you have everything in your purse. Make sure you feel well rested before you put yourself in these social environments. You know, like, that's just me. And honestly, it's helping me to become more feminine in all of my ways, because constantly rushing life and living fast pace, there's no way.
No.
There's just absolutely no way. So I want to get into the next question. Okay, so for those who have 2-3 jobs, kids, or what have you, is it possible to live a soft life with a busy schedule?
Yes. So I absolutely think that it's possible to live a soft life with a busy schedule. You just have to make sure that you give yourself some time, some self-care time, just like you said earlier. If you're a mom, especially for single mothers, well, even stay-at-home moms, you have, you know, like you're always caring for other people, or you're working, or you're doing this or doing that. And sometimes you'll get to the end of the day and you may not even want to do anything, but it is up to you to give yourself that time. You say, you know what, I did work hard today. Let me run myself a bubble bath tonight. And, you know, like sip some wine or whatever calms your spirit, because you deserve that. Like, don't feel so burnt, you know, like, don't feel so burned out to the fact that you ignore yourself and you neglect yourself, because that's not living a soft life. Living a soft life is taking care of yourself as well. You know, like, you cannot put yourself last. And I feel like you have to just make sure that you're prioritizing yourself. And a lot of times people don't know how to do that. So I feel like when you have a busy schedule, you have to prioritize yourself, fit yourself in. Don't give yourself like, oh, I guess I'll get to myself last, you know? No, like, make sure if you have a busy schedule, put self-care in there. Like, make sure you have some form of self-care every day, even if it is just reading 5 pages of your favorite book. Do something for you. So I definitely feel like it's possible.
Right. And that reminds me, you know, that's why it's important for us to what it is we want out of life, because for those people who are super work or corporate driven, it's like that's all they care about is meeting a certain quota at work, or getting promoted on their job, or even making their coworkers' life miserable just because they don't know how to be an effective leader. So it really depends on what you want out of life. If you
Right.
want to just live to build a company, that's not healthy, and I
No,
don't,
it's
that's
not.
not of God, but it's like any, I feel like to live a soft life, like as a core, as a woman, you have to realize the importance of your role as a woman in the eyesight
Right.
of God and not society.
Not
You know,
society.
not society, in the eyesight of God. Because women, without the jobs, we're still very necessary and core and important
Essential.
to the household,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of women, they don't desire to be stay-at-home wives anymore, or they can't, simply because they aren't married and they have kids, or they're super career focused, but I just
Right.
wanted to talk about one of your companies, Creatorpreneur, and how you offer opportunities to women who may have barriers to prevent them from living a free, soft life.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. So I started Creatorpreneur because honestly, I always desired to be I knew that I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom and a housewife, but a seven-figure, stay-at-home and housewife. So I was like, okay, I want to create a company where I can really, make money and, like help my spouse, bring money in. But I also want to make sure that I'm being that homemaker that I desire to be, because that's my element. Like I love that. Like I love being at home and taking care of my home. So I created a company, Creatorpreneur. And at first it started off as, me just because I was a web designer, and it started off as me just doing websites, like finding an online business to do. And I started doing websites, and then I started doing branding, and then I started doing brand management because people started asking me to manage their brands because they had 9 to 5s, but they also had businesses. So I was able to get, a lot of contracts that way, and also social media management. And now it's to the point where I have a membership, and I'm actually able to help women learn how to create passive income sources, like multiple sources of passive income. And they are able to actually, it's also an affiliate marketing program where they can make money through Creatorpreneur just by being a member. So you can quit your job just by doing affiliate marketing. And there's so many people who have done that, like who was able to really create a lifestyle of passive income. And that's how and I love that for me, because say for instance, you travel a lot, because I like to travel. So if you want to go on a vacation, like you only have to set up, like say for instance, you're on a vacation with your bae, and y'all want to have fun, but you have a little bit of work to do. You can take your business is mobile, so you can go down to the pool and work on your business for like an hour while y'all just laying poolside, and then you're like, okay, babe, I'm finished. Like, let's go get something to eat. Like, let's have fun, because we should not be bound to these jobs. And that's what I want to help women see, like, and men too, like, because it's so important that we enjoy our lives, because if we're burnt out by these 9 to 5s, and our spouses are as well, like it's going to cause friction. Like someone has to be at peace, somebody has to be the balance, the easygoing, the calmness. And I feel like that's when women are able to, because just like the Proverbs 31 woman, she was an entrepreneur, like she definitely was. And I feel like it's so important for us to have passive income so that we can live softer lives and not be bound to a 9 to 5 and be burnt out.
I'm gonna say something, and this quote may be controversial, but my daddy actually quoted this, my father, and he said, He said, it is impossible for a woman to be a successful wife and mom working for another man.
Wow.
It is impossible for a woman to be a successful wife and mom working for another man. And I want your thoughts on that. I really do.
I definitely, I agree with your dad. I definitely agree with him, because how are we, like, you have to think about it. A lot of times, and this is so, oh my goodness, I'm so glad you said that. So I was just talking to one of my friends the other day, because she was saying how, you know, like, men always want you to, and it goes back to what I said earlier, the masculine female. Like, you know, the masculine female is a hard worker. They want them to be like, oh, well, you know, I want a woman that could grind like me. Like, okay, but you're going to get tired of that, because like I said, she is not going to be equipped to do what you want her to do at home if you expect for her to work as hard as you, to go as hard as you going in the gym and do all of these things. Like, she's going to neglect herself. She's not going to be peaceful. You know what I'm saying? So she's going to be angry. Y'all are going to butt heads because you aren't allowing her to walk into her femininity. So how can she nurture you? A lot of times men expect so much from women, so much, but we have to have balance. We have to have that balance. That's why God created a man and a woman, to have balance, you know? And I feel like it's so important for women to not be masculine. Like, stop trying to be masculine, and stop allowing men to force you to be that. You don't have to accept that. Find a man who will allow you to flourish in your feminine energy.
Yes, and still feel comfortable as a man and not abuse that.
Right. Yes. Yeah. Because why do you want that? Men should ask themselves that. Like, why do you want a woman that is going to be just like you? You might as well just date your homeboy. Because honestly, if you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like if you want that, then date your homeboy. Like, because that's what you're going to get. Like, I can't, me personally, I'm not a masculine woman, and I'm not going to allow, you know, like, a man to come in and try to change me, when I know what I was created to nurture. Like, and I love to nurture souls, you know, and I'm not going to get out of that. I'm not going to come out of it.
Definitely. And honestly, you look like you are glowing. I know you're glowing, but it's like, how does it feel to live a soft life? Like, to live a life that you enjoy? How does it feel to know that you have the free will and the ability to curate a life that you love to live?
It is a blessing. I don't have to worry about, you know, when I was working a 9 to 5, I had bad anxiety. I felt depressed. You know, when you are free from that and you are living a soft life and you're able to just do the things that make your soul feel good, because that's what we were put here on earth for. We were not put on earth to be stressed out, you know? So for me, my days are very slow. Like, I do, you know, what I need to do. And people feel that in my aura. Like, I don't feel, you know, grumpy and moody and stuff like that. Like, I don't feel that. And I'm able to be a blessing to others and help others because I have a clear mind, and I'm able to focus and take, like, there are beautiful moments that are overlooked a lot of times, because a lot of times people are living fast-paced and hard lives. But when you live a soft life, you are able to see the beauty in things that get overlooked every day. And to me, that is so beautiful. And I thank God. And when you live a soft life, you got to thank God for it, because it's a blessing. I look at people around me and they don't get that. Like, and to be honest, living a slow life to me is a luxury. That's a luxury in itself, being able to live a soft life and not having to worry about things.
I'm getting emotional because you said something, you know, like, we miss those moments. And I just thank God. Oh my goodness. I totally didn't want to get emotional.
Wow.
Goodness gracious. But I really thank God for, like, dealing with me, because I really, really would stress about so much that didn't matter. And this happened in 2 instances. One instance, I went to New Orleans with my best friend. He had a church conference, and it was this elderly lady there, one of the church mothers, and we were out to eat, and I was stressing about something. Like, I couldn't even enjoy my dinner. I was, thinking about what was going on at home and what have you. And I heard the Holy Spirit say to me, somebody at this table won't be here much longer. Like, you need to enjoy this moment.
Oh,
and so I started asking one of the mothers of the church. I was like, goodness gracious, I did not expect this. I was like,
it's
how was
okay.
it to be in a 50+ year marriage? And I started getting so much advice from her, and we just had a beautiful moment, and I sat and enjoyed that moment, and a few months later she passed, and even with my uncle who just, made his transition, I was going to him venting and worrying about so much other stuff, but we still had our moments. But every time I would go to him with all these problems, he'd be like, baby girl, like, it's all right. Goodness gracious.
Wow. It's okay. Take a moment.
He was like, none of this stuff matter, like, just chill, just chill. And I feel like a lot of people, we take life for granted. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's really not that deep. Like, we be stressing over stuff that doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter at all. So, with those two experiences, and I thank God that he dealt with me in those moments, and I had time, to enjoy myself with those people, and they poured a lot into me before they made their transition. But if I allowed myself to just constantly worry about things that I had no control over, I would have missed that moment, that important moment that I will hold with me for the rest of my life. Like, we really do have to slow down and just take everything moment by moment. So I really didn't mean to like get emotional, but it is.
No, it's okay. Yeah.
It's so true. So our last segment is conquering limited beliefs, because our minds, a lot of people, they don't believe that they can create a life that they love, and they can wake up every day doing the things that they were purposed to do, and they don't have to stress and worry about doing. Like, they could just wake up effortlessly and just superpower through the world, regardless of how that looks. So how important is it to you to have belief in your own self that living a soft life is possible for you?
You know me, I'm just going to take it back to God, because I take everything back to God because he is everything. I feel like when I asked God to show me my worth and my value and what I deserve, and I started telling God what I wanted, and that I didn't want to be stressed, that I didn't want to waste my life, that I wanted to walk into my purpose, he showed me that you are more than worthy to deserve a life of peace. So you have to tell yourself, you talk to God first and foremost. Talk to God first and let him know that you are tired. If you are living a life that is not soft, you have that right as his daughter to come to him and tell him what is burdening you. Like, give him your burdens, because he did that for me. Like, I did not want to work a 9 to 5. I told him, I was like, Lord, I will do what is needed. I want to walk into my purpose, and I knew that when God told me, when I heard him say you are worthy, that's when it started happening for me. That's when I started having the ideas for Creativepreneur Her. He gave me outlets. He gave me options to live this peaceful life. And you have to constantly affirm to yourself, I am worthy of peace. I am worthy of softness. I am soft. Like, use your affirmations, use your prayers, and start speaking and creating the life that you want and that you deserve. But you have to really believe that you deserve it. Get outside of your head. Like, a lot of times we live in our heads so much, and we allow the enemy to tell us, oh, you'll never get a soft life. What makes you think you deserve to get? You got to defeat the enemy. And that's what I say. You got to take it to God. You have to. You got to be in prayer, and you got to pray for what you want, and you got to receive it, and you got to claim it. Amen. And then walk in it. Like, when he gives you, you those paths, walk in it, like, take it. Say, you know what, God, yes. Say yes to God. Say yes to the blessings that he wants to give you.
I'm going for it. And I love, you said that perfectly. We all deserve to live a life of peace. They always say rest in peace when someone passes away. But why can't we live in peace?
Yeah.
Why do we have to leave this earth to have peace? And I just refuse. I refuse. Goodness gracious. I've learned so much, y'all. If those of you listening and watching, I have gone through so many different spiritual awakenings, and I'll be 27 in a few weeks. And literally, I feel like I already went through my midlife.
Oh my God.
Midlife crisis already. Like, it's so crazy.
Me too.
So,
definitely.
So how to be accepting of your own dreams is a part of conquering limited beliefs as well, because we all have different dreams and aspirations for our life. And you have to be understanding of that and accepting, and don't allow anyone else to say anything about the life that you want to create for yourself, you know, regardless of how that look, because it'll look different from each and every one of us. But you have to be confident in what you see for your life. You know, it is possible, because God, he didn't give us, you know, these God-given abilities like sight and vision for us to just constantly allow other people and society just take us away from our dreams, you know. Because when you I truly believe when you're living out your dreams, you're in a peaceful place.
Yes.
Like, just imagine yourself waking up every day and operating in what you know you are purposed here to do. Like, no matter what's going on around you, how people act, the way people feel, you have that peace. Because, you know, with dealing with the recent loss of my uncle, I realized to myself, a relationship, I'm single, by the way, but a relationship won't keep you in peace. No. Family won't keep you in peace. God will keep you in peace. But it's one more thing that will keep you at peace, and that's purpose. When the whole world seems to be like just falling around you and everything is being dismantled, the only thing that's going to keep you rooted is purpose and knowing what you were purpose here to do. So yes, I just had to throw that out there.
Yeah, and I love how you said that. Like, you're right. People cannot be your peace. God can be your peace. People can add to your peace. Like, they can be additions to your peace, but no human being can be your peace. And this is why it's so important to have self-love when you have a soft life. Lord, please allow your daughters to have self-love, because you will neglect yourself. You will look for love in other people, things, places, but you will never fill that void because you don't love yourself, you know. And even in the word, it tells us that we have to love God with all of our mind, bodies, and spirits. Well, I don't think it says bodies, but it says hearts. Yeah, hearts and spirits. Don't misquote me. And then you have to love your neighbor as you love yourself. So if you don't love yourself and you try to love somebody else, you're giving them watered down love, because that's not really coming from a godly place. It's coming from a place where you're unloved. And then people can, like, it's come from a place where you aren't even loving yourself. So it's watered down. It's not coming from God. And you have to take a step back and really say, okay, God, teach me how to love myself. And that's something that I had to do. Like, I had to love myself. Like, I had to learn to love myself, because, girl, I neglected myself for so long. Like, I neglected myself. And I'm not going to get emotional right now, because I really can. But Lord, God had to teach me how to love myself, because people know me as like this hard lover. Like, oh my gosh, Brittany, you know, like she's so loving. But nobody knew that I wasn't even loving myself. I wasn't. I was neglecting myself and putting myself on the back burner. And that's not softness, you know. Like, I was hard on myself because I was just like loving everybody else, pouring into everybody else, draining myself. And, you know, like, I probably looked like what I was going through, you know. And
you
just
can't
like, now
live
I'm
a soft life and be hard on yourself.
You can't. You just can't.
Man, this was great. I hope everyone enjoyed it. I love you, Brittany. You know that. This is not just the beginning of a new beginning.
success.